Welcome to SoundBsessive. Today we are going to review the HifiMan Ananda Unveiled. This is the fourth unveiled headphone after the HE1000 Unveiled, the Area and the Susvaya Unveiled. As with the other models such as the Area Unveiled and the HE1000 Unveiled, making an unveiled headphones means removing the grills in order to reduce dramatically reflections of the sound waves and as such exposing the drivers. This means, as we can say, that the drivers are exposed in the headphone, which makes it theoretically more fragile, and this is why it comes with covers, the veils, and such covers can protect the headphones, the headphones when they are not in use. The Ananda Unveiled has a thinner diaphragm compared to the former Ananda models. It's about 60% thickness, which makes it much faster, more resolving, and actually, in my opinion, much closer to the sound signature of the Area family line rather than the former Anandas. The Ananda Unveiled is a very comfortable headphone. It has very comfy pads. It's quite light on the head and looks like this. And compared to former models, it has a new kind of headband which is very ergonomic, very nice with leather material. It also has a single-ended cable which is removable, and it uses 3.5mm plugs, and it obviously can upgrade it if a user wants to use a balanced cable or different materials. For this review, I've been using several DAC and amplifiers. Specifically for DAC, I have been using a HifiMan Serenade DAC section and the Serenade JR, as well as my own custom DAC, which is more detail focused. And in terms of amplification, again, Serenade and Serenade JR amplifying section, and also HifiMan Prelude and HifiMan GA10, which is a neutral tube amplifier. In general, what I would like to say about this headphone, as anticipated formerly, is that it's much closer in terms of technical capabilities and sound signature to Area rather than Ananda. Because while Ananda has normally a thick sound signature, this is much more focused towards resolving and spacing capabilities. It has generally a U-shaped sound signature, where the bass is quite powerful, quite slamming, not ultimately deep, such as in HE500 could have been in the past, but still very satisfying and pleasant. The high frequencies are very precise and very resolving. They are very extended, there are no peaks, there is no real sibilance. And the space rendition of the headphone, the soundstage size, is very wide. For example, much wider than the HE600, which is much more intimate by comparison. In terms of soundstage size, it's very similar to Area Unveiled, although the Area Unveiled has a higher capability of precisely layer sounds, especially with high-end amplification. The mid-range is slightly recessed, especially in the range between 1 and 3 kHz. It's quite subtle, but can absolutely be detected, and this occurs especially with solid-state amplification. So the audible result is that vocals are a bit more attenuated in sound. They sound a bit farther in the mix. This goes with the preference. For example, people who will love intimate vocals will find themselves cranking a bit the volume up, with the results of having also brighter highs, and so the treble will be more present, and potentially a bit more piercing. I say the treble is not piercing per se at all, but if one wants to have a very intimate mid-range, then obviously other ranges will follow, and this is the audible effect with solid state. This can be tamed a bit using an R2R DAC, such as the Serenade DAC, and the Serenade JR as well. While, for example, my custom DAC, which is more treble and detail focused, will make this more apparent. On the other hand, when using the GA10 amplifier, things shift quite a lot, and everything goes in the right piece, meaning that a tube amp, even if it's a, let's say, neutral tube amplifier such as the GA10, is capable of warming up the mid-range and round slightly the treble, enough that the balance changes. And at that point, I would say it's very, very neutral, no recession is perceived, and when cranking up the volume, there is not going to be any excessive presence in the highs in order to have a very intimate mid-range. My conclusions are, first of all, this is a bargain because it has great technical capabilities. It costs a fraction of headphones that are much more expensive to produce similar performances in many ways. It's, as said, closer to area lineage rather than Ananda. Although, for example, where the area unveiled, which is technically superior, but I would only listen to out of a tube amplifier, because all my tests with solid state make it too ethereal and thin. This works very well as well. Also with the solid state, with the only caveat that I mentioned regarding the mid-range that's slightly recessed, but otherwise it's solid sounding even with the solid state amplifiers. So it's much more friendly in general with audio chains. It's also quite efficient. There are ways to raise the mid-range in the area that I found recessed, even without using a tube amplifier, such as using a bit of equalizer for a few decibels, such as 2 or 3 decibels, or simply coupling a warm DAC. In the end, we could call the Ananda Unveiled a sort of area Unveiled Junior. It's a bit more dense sounding, slightly less holographic, and has very good compatibility with lesser amplifiers or generally solid state models. Compared to the HE600, it's less linear, larger sounding, and somehow more energetic in the bass. So it's possible that some people who wouldn't mind to lose some degree of neutrality, which the HE600 do extremely well, could actually prefer the cheaper model, which is the Ananda Unveiled.